Hey folks, this is Matt Rainwater, and today we're going to be reading episode 58 of Trailer Park Warlock. And picking up from where we last left off, we saw Pointu and Revanstone duke it out, and it ended in both of them turning into golden statues. But there's more, and we're about to find out what is next. So let's start with this panel here with Leah, sitting on Revanstone's sword here, just minding her own business, as she does. Sword the size of a bus, and she couldn't even swat a bloody fly. Leah, perhaps we should consider. And we see this because Henry's noticing the shininess. Foom. Fwa. We see the will of abandon here. Oh, I suppose the alchemists were right after all. Right or not, they never met a more persistent asshole. And it's Pointu. Missing an arm. Bonsoir, mes amis. Forging a sword with the wrong metals. So, let's see what that's all about, right? Hey there. And we got Jake here being swarmed by mosquitoes. See, you lost your tail, Bobcat. I see you lost your fangs, Dracula. Thanks for coming after me. Sure. Still have to get you back home, though. You got any ideas of how we could do that, Jake? There's only one person who can return all of us home, madame, and that is you. Oh, Lord, not this again. Oui, Monsieur Baker. Once again, it is I, Jacques Pointu, changed and changing. What the hell do you want? I am here to ask for your friend's assistance. Well, for one, my name is Darla Cross, so let's start there. And for another, what do you need me for? I like that. I just noticed. I forgot about this. Jake is just staring at her hand, glowing here, like what the hell? You bear the will of abandon, madame. You have power in this place. You can assist me in completing my spell. Alright, go on. The spell we are all trapped in was meant to transform my will. I remain incomplete. The piece of me which bears the sigil lays outside of it. And lo and behold, I've got what you're looking for. I know a union obligation when I see one. Wait, Darla. So I want to just track back for a second to this panel where Pointu is sort of explaining. So basically what he's saying is his hand that has the will of abandon etched into it, which is what started this whole thing, it's outside of the portal, what have you. Everybody in the comments like to call it the black hole. I mean, it's whatever you want to call it, the wormhole, whatever, the magic vortex that they're stuck in. His hand, right, with the sigil etched into it is outside of it. So, like, you know, we see Pointu without his other arm, right? Without his left arm. I had to think about that for a second. And his left arm is still outside of the portal. And so they're going to have to figure out how to get the arm inside the portal. I understand your fear, monsieur, but I promise I will return Air safely to you. Darla, I'll hold you to it then. Fwa. Damn it. Ain't nobody got any sense around here. I'm not the gnarliest one on the rack, but I know one thing for sure. Hold on, y'all. Why are we not? There we go. If it's that, and it's that, Jacques Pointu don't know half of what he's doing. First he's a demon, now he's an angel, next he'll come back a giant chicken, no doubt. And if he doesn't bring back Darla in one piece, I'll be frying some big hot wings, that's for damn sure. Just, I like this expression on Jake, but I'm just noticing the proportions are a little bit wacky. Like this arm is not. It doesn't quite measure out. Anyway, we'll move on. By the way, I also want to point out Jake has. So this is what I did for a couple seasons where Jake has like these weird big button things on his jacket. That design's completely changed by season 4, and what I was gonna say is like I changed it to where he has pockets now, and that was actually based on some fan art that I'm trying to remember this guy's name that did it. Matt W. Nelson did, and it's featured at the end of the season 3 Q&A. But anyway, that's just an aside. Let's get back to where we were here. So now we got a lot of stuff going on, right? What is all this? Madame, these are memories. Your memories, my memories. Memories of Monsieur Baker, Henri, Leah, and Madame Ravenstone. We walk the scaffold of the sigil. What you see is la magie in disarray. The wheel of abandon was only meant to transform one person with the memories of one person. But we all got caught up in it. By the way, there's a little memory of Darla and Jake. Darla's kissing Jake. For anybody who missed that. We're going to get into that eventually. We, the sigil, it cannot function. It attempts to transform one with many, like forging a sword with the long metals. There's Gran. There's Jake as a kid playing baseball. The sigil cannot recognize what is my life from what is your life and Jake's life. And then so we see Pointu at receiving transfiguration from Ravenstone. The many lives merge into false memories. Lives that never happened. Dreams. And then also, Pointu and Ravenstone making out. Yeah, kind of going also with what Pointu is saying here. You know, take these two memories as ambiguous. And I would say specifically with Pointu and Ravenstone. Leah and Henry, I would say this is factual. But in this moment of error, I have gained access to Madame Ravenstone's memories. She knew more of Daywalker magic than she had me believe. The will may have been the first Daywalker spell. Designed by gamblers to enhance their chances, to exploit great fortunes during times of chaos, to create change when change seemed impossible. So basically, Pointu's discovered that the Will of Abandon was basically magic used by gamblers to improve their odds. As this is change through chance. In the sigil, it has a small chance of taking over the magician to run its own course. I did not know this when I chose to bear the will. Once cast, your being is recorded. The caster and the sigil are bound. Whether in life or in death, transformation through the will of abandon is inevitable. But I've used the will a lot. It hasn't changed me at all. Those are your odds, madame. And once bound, it is impossible to know between your desires and the wills. But lead the dance as best you can, madame. My odds were different. Incredible odds. It freed me of a curse. The change I begged for. Now there is only one direction to go. My highest will leads despite the throes of chance. Sure wish I would have known all that. Does this mean I'm going to be like you someday? No. Though nothing is certain with the Wheel of Abandon, madame. That is the wheel's danger, and why I regret to ask that you use it once more. Well, hell, what's another spin of the wheel, I guess. So that's, of course, that's a theme that's going to be coming up a fair amount in the next couple of seasons with Darla. Big info dump episode, right? This was the episode where I just wanted to completely explain the mechanics of the Will of Abandon, get it out of the way. A little bit of lore and history. It's a lot of lore, actually. This episode is like the big lore dump in terms of you get insight, you get some insight into Pointu's history, you get some insight into everybody's history, right? All in one go, which was something that I was really interested in doing this episode since the opportunity presented itself. So we get to see little glimpses of Jake and Darla. We get to see glimpses of, Pointu and Revenstone's history. We see glimpses of Henry and Leah's history. And then, of course, we learn all this stuff about the Will of Abandon, right? So, like, mainly that it was originally formed to help gamblers improve their odds. And then also, over time, it got used for more and more and more cases and sort of became like this this all-in-one, one-stop shop kind of magic. And that's both where its power and its danger comes from, because the odds of what it can do is dependent on the person, right? So Pointu is just an extremely fortunate person to be able to have broken a curse using it, but at the same time he had to suffer the additional curse of the sigil being stuck to his hand and then doing what it did that got them all into this situation. And so now Pointu's asking Darla to use the Will of Abandon to see if she can use it to basically beat the odds of their situation. Thus, that's where we're going from here, right? That's the rest of, that's, I think, the next two episodes, next couple of episodes. And Darla has been using the sigil, as we've seen in the past, to transform into a bull. That's basically the only way which she has been using it. Pointu understands it on a different level and knows how to use it for, or at least understands how to use it for more utilitarian purposes. And also, there's another panel that I felt like is worth pointing out. And this panel where we see this book and it's got all this stuff on it, I just wanted to point out like the astrological symbols here. Something that is not made at all like overt is that there's a certain mechanic about the will that's also related to a person's zodiac sign within the story. And I think the most obvious thing, right, is we see Darla turn into a bull. So I think we can easily assert that Dora, I can't even pronounce her name right now, going back to a joke from a previous episode. Darla must be a Taurus, right? So we don't see any of that really with Pointu. Right, we don't see him transform into anything that would match his zodiac sign, and that has to do with the level. This is I don't know if I'm ever going to cover this in the story, so like, this is for y'all. Pointu is at such a level of being a warlock that the base layer of the magic he can just kind of ignore, and so. And I guess to answer your question that you might be having, like, okay, what is Pointu's zodiac, right? It's Aries. I pulled that right out of my butt right now. But yeah, basically, I mean, I say that, but basically he is a fire sign. That was my first go-to. He's an Aries, and then what is Jake might be your next question. And I'm going to keep that as a surprise. I know the answer to that question because it's going to, God willing, the river don't flood. It's going to figure into the story later on. Anyway, as for all this stuff with the birds right here, I'm keeping that to myself. Anyway, that's kind of all of the deets for this episode. That's all that I wanted to kind of run over with y'all. Like I said, this is it's a very big lore episode, very big info heavy episode. It's kind of a lot to go over. I mean, I'm kind of thinking for people who are reading this when it was first released, it's probably a lot to mull over. Which either made it an amazing episode for a lot of people, or might have been kind of a drag for some. Anyway, I liked it. I liked making it. I liked doing all the panels with like the different history, like showcasing the different histories for each character. For me, it made the characters more real in my mind. It gave me a chance to just think more in depth about who these characters were, and I have a tendency to very much, get into a place where these characters seem very real to me. And so this was like a big like, oh, these characters have lives, these are their real lives in my mind. And so that was very impactful for me. Anyway, if y'all want to talk with me about any of this stuff, you can do so on Twitter. It's at MattJRainwater. Instagram at Matthew Rainwater, and Patreon is patreon.com/MattJRainwater. Also, of course, you can talk to me here on YouTube. Leave a comment. Feel free to subscribe, leave a like, and until next time, we shall talk again soon. Hope you're having a good day, and later, skaters.